Hey, and a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Sunday, April 26th. We've got some great action planned here for Sunday as our NBA playoffs continue, NHL, and of course, Major League Baseball 16 games on tap that rain out from Saturday, and we got some action to recap here for Saturday until we get a few people rolling in here right now. Thank you for joining me. Really honor for you guys, for me to have you guys join me. It's an honor for you guys. Yeah, that's for sure. And as we get ready to go here on the show, had a good night over at Tony'sPicks.com. So did some other handicappers, really smashing it over there on Saturday. So can't keep it rolling here on Sunday. We also had some good picks here on the show yesterday as well, here with our winners here on the Night Moves show. So let's recap some of the action here of a great card of action while everybody gets rolling in. All right. Started off with the early game as the Magic defeated the Pistons 113-105. Orlando blew a 17-point lead in that one, but did rally late. We had Orlando plus the points in that one as our pick here on Night Moves. This is the 13th time in the last 42 years, that's basically 84 series, that the number 8 seed has led the number 1 seed 2-1 in the series. Of those previous 12, 5 underdogs did eventually win the series. Orlando leads 2-1. Jamal Cain was really impressive off the bench there for the Magic. Not a lot of playing time, but when he's in there, he really knows what he's doing. Key player there. He's going to have he'll get to see more time, I would think, the way Jamal Cain is playing right now for Orlando. He's down there in the rotation, but man, when he's in there, it's makes the right decision every time. It seems like there. So Orlando leading the series over the Pistons. Not over yet. I mean, these Pistons have had a great year. They're not going to go down without a fight. Also, the Thunder over the Suns, 121-109. SGA, 42 points for OKC. We had him over on his points prop. Seemed like a no-brainer, but the way I described it, I did say he would smash his PRA. We did have the over here on Night Moves yesterday, so I think it went over. Thunder won at 121-109. Oklahoma City up 3-0 there, and man, they got to have Jalen Green in there. Never take him out if you're Phoenix. They're down 3-0 though, and it doesn't look good anyways, but you got to have Jalen Green in there. When he leaves the floor, it's an absolute chaos out there, it feels like, for the Thunder. All right, it was the Knicks over Atlanta, 114-98. Karl Anthony Towns, big performance for Cat. Playoff triple-double. Atlanta just 23% from three-point range. New York led by 14 at halftime to tie that series at 2 games apiece as the Knicks rolled over Atlanta early and often there in that one. And we did have the winner with the Minnesota Timberwolves 112-96 over the Denver Nuggets. Bad news here, Dante DiVincenzo out for the season with a ruptured Achilles tendon. That was bad news. And then Anthony Edwards, hyperextended knee, will need further evaluation. No update yet as to the status, but man, you'd be surprised if he could make it to the next game. That was just a bad step, and his knee was going the wrong way there. So Minnesota did the job because of Ayo Dosunmu, 43 points off the bench. You know this guy's been a budding near stardom, but he's just such a good player in his role. He does such a good job, and when they needed him, he came through big time. Ayo Dosunmu made a lot of money tonight. I don't know what his contract status is, but obviously, he came over, they're from Chicago, right? So looks a great role for him in Minnesota. They needed him. They needed everything they got tonight, and they even had a fight there at the end of the game. Jokic took exception to a late, insurance basket, if you will. I don't think it was an insurance basket, but, they threw the ball down the court. He could have tried to dribble it out there a little bit. I think there was actually more than 24 seconds left, so you could score. You could go the double turnover situation, whatever. But, hey, Jokic, I got a plan for you. Why not be ahead in the game? You don't have to worry about that. It was a bad look for Nikola Jokic there. Probably shouldn't have ejected the other guy for, you have to respond. You got Jokic coming down there in your face, but Denver just 6 of 28 from behind the arc in the game. Despite a healthier lineup, Timberwolves lead 3-1 right now. It feels like this one, Denver might have, that frustration might have just been enough to say that, hey, you know what, it might not be Denver's year of this season. So 3-1 here on the Night Move show. We'll take that. Yesterday, also NHL action here for Sunday. For Saturday, the 3 games. It was Carolina did it. They swept. They win over Ottawa there. 4-2, very, very convincing, and they did it easy there. We had Carolina on the show yesterday, no doubt. It was a great series for them, and man, they look tough to beat. It's just that will that type of play kind of carry over with the rest of the good teams in the Eastern Conference? They might be the best of the teams in the Eastern Conference, but they don't play like any of the others, really. It seems like the Carolina wins the series 4-0. We had the Hurricanes yesterday. Also, it was Minnesota in overtime, the 5th longest overtime playoff game in Wild history, and they got the win over Dallas, 3-2. It was 1-1 early, and then 2-1 Dallas, tied in the third after Minnesota got a third period goal, and they win it in overtime there to go tie the series up at 2 games apiece right now. Good series there with Dallas and Minnesota, and it was Pittsburgh. Crosby, one last victory lap. I don't know if they can outlast this Philadelphia team. Philadelphia loses 4-2 yesterday. Had a premium pick winner over at Tony's Picks there on the over, but we did take it over at 5.5 there in that one. But hey, we got that home. Had to lay some juice to do it, but we did do it, and Pittsburgh wins it 4-2 over Philadelphia. Makes it 3-1 now. Philadelphia still in the driver's seat here, but one last hurrah here maybe for Crosby in that game. Did a pretty good job, and they won it. So how did you folks do with the playoffs on Saturday? Let's take a look here also at Major League Baseball real quick. Get a few more people in here. We'll go over to Tony'sPicks.com and see what's going on over there. But let's get to some of the scores and big games from the action in Major League Baseball here on Saturday. There were some big scores, maybe not the ones I was expecting to be a big score, but we did have the winner last night. Overnight here with Miami and San Francisco game to go over as we had Marlins and Giants there 6-2. It snuck over the total by half a run as Robbie Ray got the good performance there for the Giants in that one over the Marlins on Saturday. Let me skip to having a little issue here. There we go. All right. Also here, we did have a night moves winner with the Padres in that game over Arizona yesterday. Everybody's expecting a high scoring game. I was too, but the Padres got the win and did a nice job. 6-4. Zach Gallen had a 4-0 lead in the fourth inning, but he got hit on a line drive. He tried to get out of the way, but it got him. He had to leave the game. Ty France, 2 solo home runs for the Padres, and they won it 6-4, way under the 15.5. Total's 15.5 again today. We'll preview it. There also, it was a night moves winner here for us on the show, here with Boston and Baltimore. This one was a bit strange, right? That we knew the game time. We didn't know last night, maybe the Red Sox did, that Alex Cora was going to be fired as manager of the Red Sox. Chad Tracy will take over. He's the AAA manager right now. He'll come up and manage the club, as pretty much the whole staff got blown out because of this bad start here for the Red Sox. So strangely enough, the Red Sox in that game did score 17 runs. So a little bit of they knew what was going on there too. So maybe it was a little bit of a thank you to Cora. He's had his share of problems here with the controversies as well. So maybe a fresh start is what this Red Sox need. Maybe some bats is what they need. 17 runs was good yesterday, but that was a rarity for this offense right now, and that's been the problem here for Boston. So they cleaned house. They're just 26 games into the season here as the Red Sox pounded the Orioles in that one. We had the over here on night moves. Also, we had a night moves winner with the Rays over the Twins, and it was 6-2 in that one as Tampa Bay got the 6-1 as Tampa Bay got the win over the Twins behind McClanahan. Also here, night moves winner with the over in the Yankees and the Astros as the Yankees pummel them again. Man, these Astros really struggling right now overall. And then this series, they've lost 13 of their last 17 games overall. Austin Wells hit a go-ahead homer in the seventh inning. It was actually close for a while. It was 2-2 after 6 innings. Astros get beat 8-3. They're in that one. Also, night moves winner, White Sox and Nationals. Nationals win it 6-3. We get maybe lucky there and got the over. 4 runs were scored in the 10th inning. Nasim Nunez, 4 RBI, 2 for 4. Jake Urban pitched 5 2/3 innings. Didn't allow a run for Washington. 35,000 in Chicago. Was it a promotion or something? That was the biggest home crowd for a White Sox game that wasn't a home opener in nearly 20 years, at least in the month of April, anyway. So Nationals, though, did go on to get the win. And we had the Reds over the Tigers, 9-2. Sal Stewart, 3 for 4, home run, 5 RBI. Cincinnati got off early in that one, and Jack Flaherty having a little bit of trouble here, 0-2 with a 5.33 ERA in his first 6 starts of the season. Also, it was Philadelphia over Atlanta, 8-5 in 10 innings. Bryce Harper, 4 RBI in that one, including the game-winning hit in the 10th inning. Zach Wheeler, 2 runs, 5 innings in his first start of the year. I went with the Braves on the show, but I did have the over at Tony'sPicks.com for a premium pick winner yesterday as the Phillies snapped that 10-game losing streak. It was Seattle over St. Louis, 11-9. There were 8 home runs in the game. I thought they were playing in Mexico City. St. Louis led 9-7 after 7. Cole Young, 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored in that one. So 5 of the 6 teams who are currently in last place finished last season with records over 500. Only Colorado is back in last place, and they're kind of an improved team. We're seeing some parity in the major leagues so far this season. So, all right, let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com. We got a few of you in here right now. We're almost ready to start the previews. We got, what do we got? 16, 24 games to look at here. We're going to be here a couple hours, so settle in. Get your pens, pencils, and rotation orders ready. But first, let's take care of the business at hand that I'm supposed to do here at Tony'sPicks.com, and that's go over the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot over at Tony's Picks, and also take a look at who's ready to go for the action here on Sunday. Should be a big day of sports betting action. Let me find what I'm doing here. I'm the producer. I'm the host. Here we go. There it is. The handicapper leaderboards over at Tony'sPicks.com. And who's on top? None other. Oh, that's for the week. Oh, none other than me. Hey, how about it? 8, 4, and 2 here. I think maybe a couple haven't come in yet.
Final.
But I'm on top of the handicapper leaderboards along with Tony T up there. So I hit 67% on the board there. But we're going to go over there and check. Let me check out what's going on with the picks and see what I had. Then we'll come back to the leaderboards. How's that? It's my show here. We're going to feature Ramon on a winning day here leading the handicapper leaderboards. Okay. But let's see what those winners were. Yeah, I had Yusuf Salah. Boy, I was taking the heat for this one against Sterling here. I thought Sterling maybe had too much on his plate and wasn't going to be able to overcome. Maybe Sterling was going back in time or backwards, and Salah was an up-and-comer. But Sterling dominated, winning on the scorecards, I think 4-1 there, and was able to get it done. I did say down the bottom of my explanation I thought it would go the distance, certainly, but I took Zalal in that one. Also here, a push on a late game here with Dallas 2-1 against the Sounders. Did have a couple winners, though, in the UFC. I had Rafa Garcia over Alexander Hernandez there in that lightweight matchup. Also, my props were 3-0 in the NBA as I had Cam Johnson under in the game against Minnesota. Cam Johnson basically a no-show right now for the Nugs. Had the over there, 5.5, a little bit of juice on that with the Penguins and the Flyers. Philly and Atlanta had that over there, over 8.5 for a winner. Also a winner with the Angels and the Royals and a blowout there for the Royals, starting to get healthy maybe a little bit there, 12-1. Also had Mikal Bridges under in his points prop, pretty solid under there. I said Bridges continues to be a disappointment right now. Also here I had Victor Valenzuela over Max Griffin on that UFC card. There's a loser there with Minnesota and Tampa Bay just missing on that total by a 1.5. You can see the volume you get with me. So when you subscribe, you're going to get solid picks, and you're going to get several of them here too. So you see some other games that we also featured on Saturday. I came in with a pretty big card. So here's already 18 plays. So we know that the board might be not perfect here. SGA over 43.5. Now, easy to go with SGA, right? But I did say in here that I expected to blow by this number in this game, and well, he did just that. College baseball 2-0-1. So make sure you join me for the college baseball plays. I had here Florida State and Stanford over. Give you some explanation on that too, so you're not feeling totally left out in the cold there trying to just watch the games. Texas A&M and Florida did have a push on under 12. What happened? How hard is that? And also over with Nebraska and Illinois in the Big Ten. Also some soccer action here. Didn't quite go my way, but I did have a tennis winner with Terrence Atmain. Terrence Atmain fought cramps there in the middle. I thought he was going to die. And then somehow he picked himself up off the clay, dusted himself off, and went on to the win over Ugo Humbert for my tennis winner here on Sunday. So I think we had a pretty good day over there. Let's take a look at the rest of the guys, though. As I said, Tony T there with a 75% on Saturday. David Racy up there pretty solid as well, 8-6 for plus a unit, 1.75 units. Jonathan Solo-Malone up a unit and a half on Saturday. So was Ron Crawford. Chris Adkins won his only play. Of course, Al Ninos won his only play. Tony's Pick VIP account, Kevin Thomas, and Tom Regard in the green. Tom had some underdog action in there. Good job. Over the last 7 days, it's Tom Regard on top of the handicapper leaderboards. He's up 15 units right now. KT, Kevin Thomas, up there over 6 units of profit. Al Ninos, 5.25 units of profit. Nick Lagaretos, up 4.75 units of profit. David Racy, up 4.75 units as well over the last week. Tony T's up 4.25 units here over the last week. Bo Dunn, up nearly 4.25 units over the last week. Tony Picks VIP account up nearly 4 units. Ron Crawford up nearly 3.75 units. Joey Tron up 3 units over last week. Double Shooty up over 2.75 units. Chris Adkins up 2.5 units. I'm up there in the green. Solo Malone, Stephen Duncan, and Hollywood Sam in the green. Last 30 days, David Racy up nearly 13 and 3/4 units of profit. Double Shooty up 11 and 2/3 units of profit. Al Ninos up over 10 units of profit. Tony T's up nearly 10 units of profit as well. Tom Reghard up 5.5 units of profit here. Nick Lagaretos nearly 5 units of profit. Jorge Gonzalez up over 4 1/3 units of profit. Solo Malone up 3 2/3 units of profit. Ron Hans up in the green VIP account, and Damian Sosh in the green. Go to the premium picks tab. You'll find the picks here locked and loaded from the handicappers for Sunday. Let's see who's got some great packages on tap. David Racy has a Sunday afternoon MLB base hit. Al Ninos has the NHL Sunday power play. Also, Double Shooty's got his pick pass for 3 games, 2 in the NBA, 1 in the NHL. And also Chris Atkins, an MLB triple play with his best plays in the diamond here on Sunday. And a few more here. Let's see what we got. Rod Zwacki's got his NBA play of the day over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can click on the handicapper profile of your choice, find their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. And why not join me for my 3-day all sports pass? Let's get you through Sunday and through the start of the week. Check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Ride with me for 3 days for $99, and I'll have plenty of action for you here on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. It's a great way to get started. You get all the plays. You don't have to get the individual packages. These are already offered at a great discount, and I still can't fix my typo in here on Tony's Picks. I'm going to have to make some new packages because I got an embarrassing typo in there. All right. Let's get back to the action here and get going with the show. We think we've got enough people in here that we can do some previews, so get ready. The way we do it is I preview each game. I try to make a pick. I try to make a winner, and then you guys pick, and then I just show your comments on screen kind of like this, especially when we talk about all the great cappers here for the chat pros, like Larry Martin is here. He was working tonight, so I'm not on the big screen, I don't think. How about he says hate that Chicago traded Dosunmu, right? You felt like it at the time there, right? Wolves too good, says Mr. Weskers. Man, those Timberwolves bandwagon fans are coming running. They didn't have faith in October. No doubt, hopefully it works out. This is obviously a very tough situation because you don't know right now Ant-Man status. Boy, that looks severe. And man, to lose your starting point guard with torn Achilles. What is it with the playoffs and torn Achilles now? And really a bummer for Minnesota. I imagine it is going to hurt their chances long term, especially if Edwards is out. He just came back from an injury. And that awkward play there. So, all right. Greg's here. The Flyers let him down, but the Wolves delivered yesterday. And without their best players, right? It was a close game, and they really, really did looked within themselves a little bit, right, to get it done there and kind of pull the way. At first, it was a little bit shaky. Denver kind of came back, took the lead. It looked like without those two players, that Denver was going to go right on by. But Dosunmu in there, and McDaniel and Randall, you got to give them all credit there. Mr. Wesker says the Astros should sell the team. Well, maybe the owners should sell the team. Hey, good Rod there. He says, you got any good bets for today? Thank you for joining me over there from X. Good Rod. I hope so. I'm going to go over every game and try to give some good picks. So hopefully you can stay tuned. There's Nick Handy in the chat. Great to be with Nick tonight. We were watching the UFC together. We had a great time. Let's see here. Larry says, for the Lakers here, Reeves questionable today. We'll talk Lakers basketball here coming up. We got 4 games there. Anthony says, how do you bet on baseball in April? Is it just pitching that you look at? I think for me, Anthony, the things I like, certainly momentum is key early. We've seen some teams that we didn't expect maybe to get off to good starts and had some big winning streaks, and then some teams got on some losing streaks as well. But I do like looking at batter versus starting pitcher data. I also looking at bullpen data is also very, very key. I guess that's all season long, so I guess I can't say it necessarily that it's in April. right necessarily. So I think those are the two though. But I guess those transcend throughout the whole season. So I guess I couldn't answer your question perfectly there, but I do kind of like April. It's more the grind that I'm getting a little bit. I think in the first few starts, the first few games are always great. Mr. West was thinking about those White Sox fans. Man, they really showed up there, right? Let's see here. Cal Dog. Hello to Cal Dog. Ready to go here. And Mr. West was saying, you got some things that happen in April that don't maybe happen later in the season or in the middle of the season, anyway. And let's see, are the Wolves going to the finals? I don't know now. It feels like, oh man, could they really get it going without let's just hope. Let's hope Ant-Man is back. I mean, look, he's one of the top players in the world. I don't think there's any question about that. Okay, here, Penguins broke the broom, says Free Indeed. I was told tonight by some friends that the name of the broom that I was talking about actually has a name. I think they said it was a corn broom. A corn broom, is that right? And Anthony, proud of his Hogs there. It was a good day at college baseball. I probably should have played more of the games. I mean,
Final.
we can't have 50 million premiums in college baseball, but man, it was a good card today. Let's see. I think we're almost through all the comments and we're ready to go. I'm ready to go as well. Michael Piccioni is here and he's ready for a great Sunday. And it is Sunday here, right? So, all right. Desuma was clutch. How about the A's game went under, says Cal Dog. And man, Timmy, you know what? I'm just so popular here, I mean, I got it like advertisers and sponsors, but what are your cookies? What kind of ads are you getting? So are they reflective of me or you? All right. Blue pill ads or what? Let's see here. Angels ghosted Cal Dog. I think that's what I don't know if that's what that means, but all right, let's go. I got through the comments and we're ready to go. Let's go. We're going to the NBA. We put Saturday aside, and scary incident there in Washington, D.C. While we were doing a UFC broadcast, and when I saw that breaking news there, watching the situation there in Washington, D.C., there, that was really something, but hopefully everything's okay. All right. Let's get going here on the show with the NBA. And we'll start it off. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, use the promo code Tony T at checkout. Save 15% off those premium pick packages. So those are the 3-packs, the 5-packs, the daily discount best bets over there. Use that promo code Tony T. It comes off of Tony's share. So do it. Okay. Let's go right now to the NBA, and we've got starting off here, Cleveland Cavaliers on the road taking on Toronto. Toronto got that first win. That's important for them, right, to at least prove to themselves that they can do it. If you look at the history of the NBA playoffs, when you have this this seeded team with Cleveland here, this is supposed to be the one that's a difference maker, actually, overall. You got a series underdog that came through in their first game at home. This one's almost gone, rather than some zigzagging, this one's kind of gone according to planned, right? According to who's been the home team here. Cleveland won the first 2 games comfortably, covering both times. Well, the second one they covered by half a point, but Toronto won pretty convincingly there in game 3. When you've seen this scenario before, this is usually where the better team is able to come through and get that. Now, we know that Cleveland has not been a good cover team. They're not a good favorite. They're not a good road favorite. And Toronto is a pretty darn good underdog. They're pretty decent at home. But I don't know. To me, Cleveland is kind of still that championship contender team. And I'm not sure that Toronto has the makeup or the wherewithal. And I think the fact that, Cleveland is, healthy here and it seems like a full full complement on their team right now that I think they can handle this one. I think Cleveland does separate itself here from there, and plus, Emmanuel quickly is out. It's kind of a big factor too here to be missing the guard there for Toronto in this one. So I don't know if the trends necessarily would point to this. The long term trends of playoff basketball kind of point to this. As I'm talking about when you get the higher seeded team, considerably higher seeded team, winning at home in the first two, come back, the other team wins their game. Toronto, there's no doubt they're one of the best home spread teams. They're 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 games at home. So, I'm Mr. Trend guy. Obviously, but this time I think I'm going to look for Cleveland. They also have problems here. We talked about in the last game, 11-4 straight up in the last 15 at Toronto. So that's not exactly the best series overall for Cleveland when these two teams have met. So Toronto usually gets the better of Cleveland here at home, but to me, I still think I almost want to see, Cleveland is still a team that's going to be challenging here when it comes down to whoever, if it's Boston and Cleveland here moving forward. Let's not count out the other teams in the East that we just saw today. But, remember, the Cavaliers have been, they were close. They were, just couldn't get it done last season. All right, let's go maybe to the chat here, and we can get your opinions on this one. I think the market is pricing Cleveland as a hotter team ready to go here right now. And favored by 4 in this one on the road. There's a bit of a situation here. Obviously, Toronto was able to get that win last time. They do have a pretty decent defensive profile, allowing 112 points per game. Yes, the game did go over last time. 2 of the 3 have gone over. I don't know if this one's going to go over, but Cavs have gone over in 5 of their last 7. Raptors have gone over in 4 of 6. Cleveland's pace and offensive rating of 119.4 points per game does say it will be a higher possession game. So, but I think at 220.5, that's reflected in the total here, and we're seeing more and more of these totals. The pressure on the under here as the games become more important. So that's pretty high total. Let's go to the chat, shall we? All right, here we go. And let's see here. Timmy says it's the Cavs for me. Toronto likes to let down their fans. Oh no, Timmy. Unless Ingram decides to show up. But yeah, and again, the support of No quickly. It is kind of a big injury, I do believe. And Darko doesn't have enough personnel, I guess Mr. Wesker is saying here. Cal Dog is liking the Cavs here in this one. And Harden choke in game 3. Better hope he doesn't have a poor scoring game, right? Let's see here. Larry says Cavs and Raptors over. Larry says Cavs money line and over. Cavs money line and over. Okay. All right. I'm on the Cavs here in this one. I'm going to lay the 4 points here. That'll be my play here on Night Moves. And we're off on the NBA. Next up, the Spurs are on the road taking on the Trailblazers here. I think the spread is indicating that Wemby's going to be able to make it back. In fact, if he does make it back, I think the spread's going to go even higher. It may have a little bit in there that that he will be ready to go. Remember, the spread had dipped down to 2 or 1.5 even in last game. And that was as we knew he was kind of going to be out. We knew it was a game time decision kind of, but that was kind of built in then. I think it's kind of built in here. Once he is ruled in the game, if that is indeed the case, this line will go up again. Now, I think there's a little point or two that might be already built in there, like he is going to come back. So maybe it will only go up to 6. I don't know if it'll go to 7 here right now, but mostly it might be because the Spurs dominated the game there last time out over the Trailblazers. They really did a nice job to get that win. Maybe when it looked like that was a spot for Portland because Wemby wasn't going to be in there, and Portland's been good at home, but it just turned out, 120 to 108. It did go over in that last game. So, we'll see. The first two did go under here, 111 to 98. San Antonio won game one, and then Portland won game two, 106 to 103. So San Antonio with regaining the lead and the control of the series here in this one. San Antonio, good spread team on the road as a favorite, not usually a problem. 24 and 18 against the spread on the road. Portland 25 and 16 against the spread at home. These were two good cover teams pretty much all season long. So Portland, we know they did a nice job. I'm still totally impressed with Portland and their players. But what happened last game? And I think maybe it's the similar situation here because we took a different route to get the road team at 2-1 right now. But I do think the Spurs, in the end, remember they were 20 games better than the Portland Trailblazers in the win column, I believe, this season. So I'm going to go ahead and lay it here. I'm going to lay the 5 on the road. I'm getting chalky here on night moves. Let's see what you guys have. Maybe I should have asked you guys first. Let's see what the chat has to say in this one. With
final.
Mr. Westwood says, is Wemby going to use his hands instead of his face to break his fall, right? You're afraid with Wemby, those toothpicks might break if he yeah, and that was funny, on that, Mr. Westwood said, the way he slammed his face on, you wouldn't think that was a concussion. You'd think it was like I thought he broke his jaw or had chipped teeth or something like that. Mr. Westers likes Trailblazers against the spread. Cal Dog says the Spurs again. Larry says Spurs on the spread. Even if Wendy doesn't play, they still handled their business. Harper went off the other night. Here's the thing. Maybe I really should, mention, because Larry said it so well. I mean, Harper is basically he's the cheat code. It feels like right now. That's what it feels like with Harper out there. I think he is so key. When he is on the floor, they're practically I won't say unstoppable, unbeatable. Just everything he does right. And of course, his dad was Ron Harper, who was a great player, and Larry likes his Chicago teams. But Harper is definitely a player that just makes such a huge difference when he's on the floor. He's amazing, actually. He's your plus minus guy that, once he's in there. Here's the thing that I like to do when when you're betting live and you got a player like Harper. When you see him coming in the game, you start clicking. And then when he leaves the game, you start clicking the other team a little bit. And then when he comes back in, you start clicking on that's how you do it with a guy like Harper. So Mr. Westers are going to fade these Spurs. Okay, I guess that's it for that one. Let's go to the next one here now with the Celtics on the road. These road teams are looking interesting today. Of course, we're waiting the information here. It doesn't look like. I think it might even be that Embiid is already ruled out. Let me make sure of that here for today's game. Doubtful. So we're still going to wait on his status. So we could get Embiid maybe in this game. He's got recovering from the appendicitis surgery. That sucks. You get your ice cream, but oh no, that's tonsillitis. So it's been a bummer here, but again, Embiid, man, when he's in there, we kind of make fun of him a little bit too. Here, Boston taking control of this series right now, 2-1. They're favored on the road, maybe even by 7.5 here right now. It's some of the square books, 7 at the sharp books, total 213 here in this one. This one is going to be This one not even going to get to 200 points. Maybe it will. I guess it probably will. But Philadelphia, with or without Embiid, may have problems here scoring right now. It really feels like the Celtics are finding what they need to do and know how to do it here right now. 108, 100 last time out. Remember, they didn't cover. They covered the early numbers, but they didn't cover the late numbers. And now I'm stuck here again. I don't think I'm going to go with the side because last game I had to give myself a loss, and then all the players got a win. I said, "Oh, take the Celtics minus 9," and then the spread goes down to 7, and the Sixers get the money. Or what was it? No, it was the other way around. I think it was on the Sixers, but nonetheless, Boston here laying 7, up 2 games to 1. They're so good on the road, 26-15 against the spread, 34-24 as a favorite. You look at the Sixers that during the regular season they were still 16-21 against the spread as an underdog, 19-22 against the spread at home. So Boston's the more complete team right now, 10-4 in their last 14 against the spread. They're allowing just 107 points per game. So Phillies trended better ATS at the second half and towards the playoffs here, but matchup history aside, Boston's two-way efficiency right now, the gap is pretty big here, quite honestly, and they've been closing games pretty well. This is a late season playoff style under, I promise you, in this one. It probably should be a premium over at Tony's, but I'm going to go with it here. I really think this is an under game all the way at 214 and a half, 213 now at some of the sharp books. I imagine it might even go lower. I think it's a sharp action here on the under in this one. Philly's gone under in 9 of their last 10. Boston under in 4 of their last 5. 6 straight in the series have gone under. So both teams try to dictate with the defense. Unfortunately, that might not be the best idea for Philadelphia. Not that they can do anything about it. Expect a half-court game here. If Philly could get any transition game going, it would behoove them to do so. But Boston just doesn't let you do that, and I think that's going to result in a Boston blowout here possibly. And I'm going to take the under in this one, because maybe the Sixers can hang in there, getting these points at home. Okay, here we go. The Bro God's here, so we're going to get his picks here a little bit right now, hopefully. Let's see here. Okay. Who can beat the Celtics? Celtics for Mr. Wesker's Cow Dogs on the Celtics. Is that an ice cream cone right there, Mr. West? What is that? Bro God might be ready to give us his picks here. He's on Derek White to go over on his threes. And I'll be in the prop game tomorrow. I'm pretty hot on the NBA props here on Tony, so we're going to be firing away. Funny, I had to pivot from 2 guys. We talked about the guys that were injured. I'm like, well, if they're playing, I'm fading them, and it looked like they were going to play, but they didn't. I pivoted to some other players and won. Okay, Boston won by only 8. Yeah, that's me too, Larry. I'm going to stay away from the spread just because, you know what? It very well could be 7, 8, or 9 here, I think. Raptors plus the points here for Bro God. And let's see here. One man's trash is another man's treasure. It's very poignant. It's as a saying that I like to use as well. And Missoula here, Boston doing the job here on these guys. Boston first half for Cal Dog. That might be it from the chat in this one. And I'll take the under with Boston and Philly. Hey, there's Oscar Schneider in the chat. He's got favorite overplays. Uh-oh. Stick around, Oscar. I might have 1 or 2 overs on this show. So far, not so much. Sixers team total under here for Timmy Chushu at 103.5. And hang on. Oh, Timmy, that's a winner right there, I'll tell you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've seen an. I don't think I have seen an over on this NBA card that I'm gonna like. Okay, let's do the last one here. I better go to the side on this one, huh? All right. The Lakers are at the Rockets here. One more game. Luka looks like he's going to miss one. Looks like Luka is going to miss one more. It may be just dealing from a position of strength, and Luka may be thinking that they don't need to play here right now. So, he might not be able to play at all. So that could be the situation here a little bit. But the Rockets got to get one of these games. Remember, they should have won last game. They probably should have covered last game because they probably would have went on in a normal situation if they didn't suck. If they didn't blow it, uh, like they did in last game. They're up six with that time, very little time left, and then they just go into like they don't even know what they're doing. The foul, the on the 3-pointer, the steal, the turnover, and the Lakers force the overtime, get the win. It was and it cost me my total too, but uh, there's no way they can blow it. The Houston did everything they needed to do except finish the job. Um, I don't want to say that, look, the Lakers are up 3-0. They're totally, going to win this series. I do believe they'll probably just go back and win it at home. I think the Rockets can get one here. I think they might actually even cover this game. The Lakers could be a little bit complacent here. Let's see what happens. Kevin Durant, he's still questionable. It's going to be a game time decision for KD. Austin Reeves he's back to questionable here with that oblique. It kind of uh, bothered him here again, so he's found his way to the injured list today. And like I said, Luka is out. So look, we've been riding the Lakers for sure. I'm going to come in with Houston in this one. I think Houston can get one here on the Lakers and send this one back to LA. Look, I think LA they've done enough. I think they're confident enough that they can close it out. There's nothing that shows there probably is not even a great suggestion here on the Rockets. I'm kind of fading the Lakers in the spot, actually. You might think it's kind of trend and form and matchup right now for the Lakers. I mean, they're 6-0 against the spread and straight up in the last 6 games, and 5-0 ATS against Houston. The Rockets are going the wrong way, 1-4 straight up in ATS in their last 5. But I think the projection actually leans Houston here slightly for me, more than more than 5 points actually in this game, especially if Luka is going to be out. So look, we were on the Lakers before in these other games, but I'm just playing a little bit of playoff trend and feel. I think for me here, I'm gonna come in on the Rockets here today to take one over the Lakers. They have not been good here right now, but give me the Rockets here in this one. Just once, maybe here. Let's see what we got in the chat. Oh, thank you, Oscar. He's got some baseball overs in there. Appreciate. Yeah, we'll have a few overs. I was kind of kidding in the basketball, but we'll have probably some overs there. All right. Let's see here. Mr. Weskers ain't laying these points. Ain't laying these points with Houston. No way. Yeah, they're pretty bad. No doubt. I'm not going to read the trends because otherwise I'd be talking myself out of it here a little bit. But I think I'm just kind of playing. The Lakers are definitely a team that can be. Look, they're playing playoff caliber ball, but even Bronny was going off last game, right, with his dad. But the Lakers are kind of a team. We saw them during the season. There were some times in there where it wasn't so good when they were an underdog here. But Houston's numbers as a home favorite are not very good. I promise you that. You probably already know. Okay. Houston, we have a problem, says Larry, especially if Reeves is in the game. Maybe that will be the difference. Brogod can't take the Rockets, but he does like KD over on his points. Hopefully KD is in there. I'm going to want him in there here. I'm taking the Rockets here today. And, look, I've been on the Lakers in all these games, okay? So, Timmy says, Cal Dog's on the Lakers here. Houston not playing defense, says Mr. Weskers. And Bronny, you got to wonder if there's a future for Bronny post LeBron, though. Look, he's developed his game quite nicely. And Cinna figured out's here. Cinna figured it out is here. Oh my God, he's taking the Lakers. LeBron wants all the smoke. Talking with Durant there. Thank you. Good to see Cinna figure it out here with us. KD gonna log full minutes if he returns from that injury. Cal Dog says KD ready to retire. What do you think KD will do with his life after this? Will he be like a professional troller? Maybe he could do like a social media show on TV or something. Really something weird. Lakers want to win it at home. Take the Rockets, says Timmy. He's with me. Adoka can't even account for Bronny on defense here. Shingun over in the points for Timmy. Keep rocking with Shingun. Although he definitely was, for some reason there in the second half, he just looked like he had lost his way a little bit. It really was bizarre there. Okay, well, I'm taking the Rockets in this one. I'm zigging. I'm zigging or I'm zagging. I don't know which I'm doing, but I'm doing one of them. All right. Let's go to the ice on Sunday for a 4-game NHL card, huh? All right, the Sabres are at the Bruins here. The Sabres are up 2-1 right now. And hey, pressure's going to be on Swayman, it feels like, here in this one, obviously, with the game of Pick'em here. 6 under 15. Buffalo's been great. I've already gotten burned once trying to take Boston at home, but I might end up doing it again here. This one's at 2 Eastern and 11 Pacific time with Buffalo and Boston here in this one. So we'll see what happens with these two. For Buffalo, their biggest issue had been their defensive play this season, but they're 23rd in the league in shots on goal. The Sabres allow a high volume of shots, and a lot of them come from close range. Buffalo's 21st in expected goals against per 60. So it's kind of funny that they've been so strong. The statistics don't always add up. Looks like they're going to go to Alex Lyon here. Lyon performed well in game 3, and he's allowed 3 or more goals in 3 of his past 4 starts. I'd rather maybe see Luukkonen in there, but, Buffalo really hasn't been real firm on its goalies here all season right now, and now they're going to turn back to Lyon now after what they saw in game number 3. So look, 2-1. Buffalo's technically in charge right now in the series. So I'm not going to bag on them here. I just think this is going to be a tough game in this one. Boston's won 2 of the 3 meetings between these two teams in Boston. Yeah, I know that we saw Buffalo get that first one there, but Buffalo obviously was able to bounce back here. Buffalo won 4-3 in game 1. Boston won at Buffalo, of course, 4-2, and kind of dominated that game. And then Buffalo wins here game 3 in Boston. It feels like a total zigzag here with these two. As much as I love what Buffalo's done, we might be getting 7 games away. This one's kind of looking out right now. Swayman 2.7 goals against, 31-18 record. Lyon was 20-10. 2.77 goals against. Might be kind of an even matchup in goal, but I'm going to take the Boston Bruins here in this one. I know, look, I'm on Buffalo in a big futures bet here at a pretty good odds. I don't want to, not an emotional hedge. I would never do that on the air here. I'm trying to give out some winning sports picks. But, full disclosure, I do have that big futures bet on Buffalo. But look, it's not really a one where you can even count on it being, live even at this point. There is a long way to go, and Buffalo is only one of a handful. Like we said, Carolina obviously looks like number 1 right now. They have the most points. Buffalo finished first in the other division. I don't know if they're on par with Carolina. And the way we're seeing right now, the way I want to say Montreal will preview that game, but whichever it is in that series, Montreal is looking really strong, and Tampa can be strong as well. But between them and Philadelphia, Buffalo just looks like one of those three teams that are going to be trying to chase Carolina here. So I have that
Final.
future, but I'm not, thinking, hey, wow, I'm in a great position just because Buffalo's been so awesome and we've talked about them like they're uh, going to pull something off this season. But I've got to take Boston here in this one. Let's see what the chat says. Okay. Sabres are the favorite now, says Cinna Figured Out. Says no longer a pick'em here in this one. He's got the Sabres as the favorite here. I'm actually showing a pick'em, and right now at one very square offshore book, Boston is the slight favorite here. So I don't have many books that have Buffalo. I can't even find one that has Buffalo as a favorite, but or maybe you're talking about the series price, right? What is the series price right now on this series? Actually, Buffalo's still 330 because they're in charge on the road. So okay, no problem. Cinna figure it out. If you like, the Bruins, find out that book, and that's where you're going to get the best price. Timmy says take the Bruins. Cal Dog is on the under here. And Larry says Sabres money line and under. Timmy's on Boston in this one. And Cinna figured out says he's on the Sabres on the puck line here. And I don't know. I think he said that the Sabres are favored, so I imagine he's laying 1.5 for a big return, plus $2 or something like that. The way our man Cinna's describing it. So, okay, I'll take Boston here in this one. The Avalanche
Final.
are on the road here, taking on the Kings. $1.65 right now, and Colorado up 3-0. I don't know how else to go about this one. And will Colorado just come in here and wipe the ice up with the Kings right now, the way it's going? Because does feel like it's all over for the Kings this season. They come in here on a big losing streak. So, and of course, Colorado's won the first 3 games overall right now. This is a strong trend here. Colorado 9 straight on the road, 6-0 in the last 6 against the Kings right now. LA's lost 5 in a row, including these first 3 games. They're 2-9 in their last 11 against Colorado at home. So there's a big gap between these two. It's just a matter of 165. Pretty hefty here. Maybe have to lay the puck line to get it. You could just take Colorado. Obviously, I try not to do that on the show, but let's see what you guys have here. Maybe I'll go to the chat first. Colorado's gone under in 10 of their last 11 games. So you know how it's going. This is just elite defense, playoff experience. Kings were trending under even before this series here right now. So let's see what you have here in this one. Avalanche controls the games when leading, and they suppress the scores. They don't allow any late scoring volatility, if you know what I mean. Right now, it's been dominant. Here we go. We know the Kings can't even score. That's what I probably should just do. Just take the total, because Colorado probably wins this one, and maybe they can win by 2. Maybe they win by 1. Let's see what we've got. Okay, abs for Cal Dog. Timmy's on the Kings. Panarin for a goal here. Please, Panarin, get a goal somehow. Avalanche on the puck line here for Larry. LA ain't going like that. All right, I'll take the under in this one as my pick because the Kings aren't going to score. And look, the scores of these games have been the same pretty much every time, except for 4-2 last game, and I got burned there on the total in that one. So I'll make it my free play here. But 2-1 twice in this series so far, and every time that Colorado's won these other 2 games, it was 5-2, 4-2, and 4-2. So the Kings aren't going to score more than two, but if Colorado gets that empty netter, it'll probably go over. Still, I'll just take the under here and figure more 2-1, maybe. The games in LA, I guess, have been higher scoring here for some reason because the Kings have gotten 2 goals. But okay, could be overtime, says Timmy Two Shoe. Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens here in this one. Tampa Bay is favored on the road because I guess they're just so much better than Montreal. If they're so much better, why are they down 2 games to 1 here? Are they going to suck it up here and get this win over this hot Montreal team? I think not. I think Montreal's probably going to light these guys up here. This is going to be the game where Montreal wins and scores a big win over Tampa Bay. Gotta love everything about Montreal right now. I might be talking from a homer perspective here. I mean, I'm not from Montreal, but they're the sharper side. They're 13-4 in their last 17, 7-2 in their last 9 at home. Won 4 of the last 5 against Tampa. Tampa's trending the opposite. 3-6 in their last 9, 1-5 on the road right now. Come on, Montreal's got all the momentum in the world. Both teams kind of skewing under here. Tampa's gone under in 5 of 7. Montreal's gone under in 10 of their last 15 games we've seen so far in this series. 3-2 in each of the last 2 games after Montreal won the first one on the road, 4-3. So Montreal's recent success has kind of come from more of a structured defense and limiting offensive chances by Tampa Bay here right now. And that, is interesting because Tampa Bay usually in the playoffs makes the most of its chances. So that's kind of carried into the playoffs here. Montreal was doing that late in the season as well. And it's been part of their, big surge here right now and playing just great here at this time. And then if they could get this one and go up 3-1 and head on back there to Tampa with just 1 game to win, that'd be a pretty good spot. I think Montreal is going to crush them here in this game, you guys. What are you guys going to do? Let me go to the chat and see I'll go either way. I'll go side or total here, whatever the chat doesn't do, maybe. I think Montreal here, I'm going 5-2, 5-3, something like that. I don't know if we're going to get a defensive game here. They have gone under in 2 of the 3 so far, but like I said, that first game was 4-3 at Tampa. Okay, here we go. Larry's going under, though. Larry is going under. And Cow Dog on Montreal. Timmy likes the Lightning here. He says this is going 7. Yeah, maybe I'm not saying I'm tired of the Lightning. Hey, those teams were great. They're still great. I feel like Montreal feels like something special going on here right now, and I think this is where they do it. So, all right. Let me take Montreal in this one. I better stand behind what I'm saying. And yeah, maybe the over is a tougher one to get because this is playoff hockey after all. But I think this is going to be a Montreal blowout today, to be honest. Okay, that's it from you guys, I think, in the chat in that one. Let's move to the late game now. With the Oilers. Do I have to update this total here? Okay, it is 7, but I thought it would go high. I thought it would go higher. The send out was 7.5 under 50, but I don't know. Probably just going to go over again. It's certainly going to be 4-3 at a minimum. And then you throw in an empty netter here right now. And look, who is going to win here with the Oilers here down 2-1? The Ducks played one of their best playoff game. They haven't had a lot of playoff games in years, but that was a memorable game for Ducks fans in the 7-4 win. Pretty exciting. I mean, it sounds like a blowout, but it wasn't. it was definitely a close game throughout. But man, Anaheim's beaten the Oilers 13-8 in these last two games. Um, First game was still 4-3. So look, 7 goals, 10 goals, 11 goals in this series, and you've got to think it's going to do the same thing again. Why wouldn't it? At this point, you want to say that hopefully we get some defense out of these two, and someone comes up with something. But compared to these other series, and look, I don't think this is going to carry whichever team advances, right? That's not the way to play playoff hockey. This one's volatile, though. Edmonton has the better ceiling, I think. They own the matchup, 13 of the last 20, but their recent form, just 3-6 in their last 9. Look, Anaheim was struggling, remember? 4-9 in the last 13 right now. So, look, Oilers have the talent. McDavid, all of a sudden, he's looking good again, up and down here, but I think the Oilers have this enough offense, whichever way the game goes. If they lose, if they win, they're going to score. They're going to score, and then it'll be just a matter of can they outscore. I think with Anaheim, and I don't know, Anaheim's that offense that we saw to me is kind of. I don't say back. I don't know if it ever went anywhere, but when they were losing there, but we saw also. Um, uh, Beckett Seneke with that key goal in that game as well. So getting some young talent in there too, scoring, man. And remember, they scored 4 goals in the third period, did Anaheim there. So let me go to the chat. I'm thinking, Anaheim and over, actually. All right, let's go to the chat. Larry says Ducks on the puck line plus a 1.5. That'll get you some insurance there. Ducks for Cow Dog. Cinna Figuehouse is not going with the Avalanche in his parlay, but he's on the Ducks on the puck line. Take him plus that 1.5 just in case, because maybe it could be minimum 3-3, right? Maybe it doesn't go over, but it's still 3-3 at the end of regulation or something. Timmy says he'll go with the under only because these guys are capable of locking things down after the undisciplined hockey. That would be a story. I don't know if they are capable. Are they? Yeah, right. Look, Cal Dog says on the Score Sportsbook it is 7.5. Ingram has to make stops. There's no doubt this defense, for whatever reason, it's just not happening. Well, we know the reasons. I mean, we've seen the signs kind of all year, but okay. All right. I'll take the over here in this one with the Ducks and the Oilers. I think we get that same type of game here, 7 minimum. But you can stay tuned. I'm going to find a way to get on these Ducks, I think, here right now. So, all right. I guess that's a look at the National Hockey League today. Thank you to the chat. Get ready. We've got 16 Major League Baseball games, and it is Sunday after all. So early and often here, we've got the Sunday day games. Here we go. Oops, why is it? Let me just put the baseball graphic up there. And get rolling on the baseball card here right now. Let's get rolling here. Hold on a second. I got to update this line here. Okay, there we go. I'm moving the doubleheader game. I'm just gonna do the first game. So let me fix that a little bit. Now we'll go. That's not the first game, but I want to. Move this along here. Sorry about the delay. Okay. So, because we don't even know necessarily the pitching situation there in the Colorado Mets game for, I think, game two. So let me start it, though, here with the Phillies and the Braves with Aaron Nola going up against Chris Sale. Sounds like a pretty good pitching matchup here, but the Braves are up to $1.75 here right now. Yes, I understand the Phillies have struggled here. The Braves are hot, but look, the Phillies are not going to, they're not going to be 62 and 100 or anything. This has just been a rough spell here. Will the Braves, this big lead help them throughout the season? Well, yeah. I mean, you're almost 10 games up right now, 19-9 for the Braves here, and 9-18 for the Phillies right now. But hey, you know what? The Phillies got that win over the Braves yesterday, 8-5. It shows, it's not going to be some dominating series here. They can actually steal the series here a little bit. Nola, 5.06 ERA, 1-2 record. Chris Sale's been solid so far, 2.79 ERA, 1.0 whip. You're getting, man, Chris Sale, almost vintage Chris Sale here right now coming into this game and into this series early on. Let's just keep Chris Sale healthy and keep doing it. Atlanta's currently the better team with that great form, 9-2 in their last 11. Yes, the Phillies have lost 7 of their last 8 on the road, 10 of their last 11 overall. But Olsen, Riley, Acuna, they all have pretty good numbers actually against Aaron Nola. You look at the matchups with these guys. You've got Olsen, 3 home runs off of Aaron Nola. Yastrzemski, 333 against Nola. Riley, he's always owned Nola. Riley's got huge numbers against Aaron Nola. 386 average and 57 at bats, 6 home runs and 5 doubles for Riley. Riley only hitting 216 this season, but those are some serious numbers. Acuna, 4 home runs and 308 batting average. These guys really do beat up on Nola here overall. So it might be too big of an advantage, but man, that price does bother me. Both teams have been trending over, of course. If Nola does get hit early, this game is going to open up despite, I think, Sale's presence here in this one, because the Phillies are bound to get something off of Nola. The Philly bats are kind of cold against Sale, though. You look at some of these guys, and they have not great numbers against him, but just expect the veteran presence right now. The Phillies got to start to suck it up a little bit here. You got Garcia 1 for 5. And let's see here. Man, some of these Philly bats are really pretty weak right now. Let me go to the chat here on this one with you guys and see what you have. I guess the numbers do kind of point to Sale having a pretty strong advantage here. We know Nola, look, I'm not calling it a slow start for Nola right now at 5.06 ERA in this one, but okay, chat. Here we go. Braves and Phillies under 4.5 in the first 5, says Larry. You got these 2 starting pitchers. They'll be able to deal. This has to be an under in the first. Oops. Cal Dog says the Braves should have won the game there. Should have won that game yesterday against Philly. Yeah. They did blow it, obviously, there, and when it went to the 10th inning, they just gave up all those runs. But Cinefigured says 175 is high. It is. I probably Sale at home, 8 strikeouts at plus $1.30. Says Timmy Two Shoes. Says he's flirting with a big game. Braves run line here for Cal Dog. Braves run line first 5 for Cinefigured out. Final. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and do it too. I think the price is too high, and I'm not going to the run line to make it, a more Well, I guess it is a more respectable price, but I'll do it here. Those numbers are pretty impressive here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Braves on the run line in this one. All right, the Red Sox and Orioles here. We'll see how the Red Sox fare here with a new manager after winning yesterday 17-1 over the Orioles. Maybe they took out some frustrations on them. Connerly early, 2.88 ERA, 1-1 record. Coming in here, Kyle Bradish, 3.96 ERA, 1-2 record here so far. Do you think the Red Sox at 10-17 can, say, hey, you know what? It's not about the manager, it's about us players, because that's what you're supposed to do. Boston 13 and or Baltimore 13-14 coming in here early, 1.32 WHIP. Bradish 1.76 WHIP in this one. We saw one team score a bunch of runs yesterday. It was Baltimore scored 10 runs the previous day. Baltimore is 9-5 to the over at home. Boston's 10-4 to the over on the road. So look, the total here is 7.5 over 15, kind of like it was yesterday. That felt like a joke the way I portrayed it. We went over yesterday in the game, and okay, maybe it was only the Red Sox that got all these runs, but I've got to think this one's going over here with these two. We'll see. Maybe the psychology of the game. Maybe you're supposed to, roll with Boston here. They got the AAA manager. Chad Tracy's a good guy. Obviously, major league player in his day, and Boston's going to get better. Even if they didn't fire the manager, they're going to win some games here or there, I'm sure, whether or not they're not supposed to be this bad, obviously, right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over. We'll see the runs come in this one, and maybe it'll be a wild one in Baltimore on Sunday. Let's see what you guys have. Here's Cal Dog on the Red Sox. Timmy Chushu on the Red Sox. Can the Red Sox get it together here, Larry Martin, Red Sox, Baltimore over. Cal Dog on the over here. And Timmy's going with the Boston parlay there, huh? Yeah, Boston's been playing bad. Usually the manager bump, right? That's what you think. The manager bump might have happened yesterday at 17-1. If Boston is, look, if it's the manager's problem, they fired all the coaches too. So if it's their problem, so be it. But it's probably more the players' problem, right? And so how are they going to, get it turned around here on the road when they haven't been playing very well at all? How do you let a team score 10 runs in the ninth inning? Well, I guess they were losing the game there already 7-0. So. Did they even? I'm going to look at. Did they put in a position player to pitch in the game there yesterday? I don't want to waste your time here. Does anybody know there? I was already out of that game by then. Did a position player come in though? Okay, next up here. We've got the Guardians taking on the Blue Jays. Slade Ciccone going up here against Patrick Corbin Day. And Corbin here, $1.40 in this one. Corbin, 3.6 ERA so far, an 0-0 record. We saw Corbin out there. For Ciccone, 6.2 ERA, 0-3 record. It's been pretty bad so far for old Slade Ciccone. You got to wonder if he's going to last long here. He's had a year and a half where the major league starts, but this is pretty bad right now, and you got to wonder if he just doesn't need a little bit more refinement. But, Cleveland also needs starters, so probably be hanging out here with his 1.58 whip coming in for Corbin, 1.09 whip. He's looked pretty good here, 12 strikeouts and 14 2/3 innings, six earned runs here and 12 hits also in 14 2/3 innings coming into this one for Cleveland here. Toronto's in a little bit better form, going 4-2 right now. They get a pretty favorable offensive setup, I think, here against Ciccone. The Guardians bullpen has been not Guardian-like, 4.75 ERA, and they've been vulnerable late, which kind of send some momentum towards the other team right now. Both teams are kind of trending over here. Cleveland's 9-6 to the over on the road. Toronto's gone over in 5 straight at home. So I think we got more scoring environment here on this one. But I'll go ahead and yeah, let me go over in this one too. I'm going to take the over here with Cleveland and Toronto. I might be doing a little something with Toronto. I'm thinking it's just the spreads of the money line's a little high, but I don't want to play that 135 on the show. Let me take an over here in this one. Okay, let's see. Guardians, Blue Jays under. First have a Nerfy here for Larry. Jays first 5 for Cal Dog. All right, I'll take over here on this one. Where the gentleman wanted some overs, there we go. Let's play 2 overs to start the American League card here. Guardians money line. Hey, Jamal Giuseppe is in the chat. Hi, Jamal. Good to see you. Here's the Rockies taking on the Mets. Game 1 of the doubleheader, and I'm not even sure. I think that is going to be Quintana and McLean from what I've read and seen so far. Could be a chance of the Mets are most likely to start McLean. The Rockies could push Quintana to game 2 and go with a different. They haven't announced their starter. That's why I kind of made that change there and moved the graphic. We'll just touch on the game 2 later on when we get to the end of the card, since it'll be late afternoon when that one starts. So let's focus on this one as a standalone kind of game, at least here, with Quintana coming in 6.23 ERA, 0-2 record. Nolan McLean, 2.67 ERA, 1-1 record. I don't want to say you could put the Mets losing streak aside, because they just lost again here to the Rockies on Saturday, 4-3. The Rockies actually did a great job in that game with 2 runs in the 7th to take a 4-1 lead, and then they held off the Mets for an impressive win. The Rockies are definitely improved this year. The Mets, yes, is this price probably a little bit tough to swallow still, given that losing streak? Probably. But McLean is the real deal. I mean, every time he's going out there right now, he's a threat to do something, and he might be able to mow down these guys right now. He's got a .76 whip coming into this one. So just think it's going to be a little bit tougher even for the Rockies right now. Now, bummer here was, Soto back off that injury, but unfortunately, Soto had a calf injury, and look how long it took to get him healthy. Well, bad news here all of a sudden now for the Mets, because they have to put on the injured list Lindor here with a calf strain, and it's worse than they say. It's worse than Soto's, and he's going to be out a month. So that's not good. But I do think the Mets can probably get over on this one. I'll take them on the run line here. Don't want to get caught doing this too much right now, but got to take something, and not quite knowing what the Rockies pitching situation. This probably is going to be the matchup, but I'll go ahead and lay it here with the Mets on a run line. With how as bad as they've been, still do it here, okay? Let's see what the run line price is here. I'm sure it's pretty manageable here in game 1. They are -1.5 at even money. So I'll go ahead and do it. I'm going to do it this time just because McLean. I mean, he's been so dominant here right now, and Colorado still, they're 4-16. Or let's see, that's dating back to last year, but on the road this year so far for Colorado, 4-10, 4-10 on the road this year, and not only that, 1-8 versus the Mets. So as unreliable as the Mets are, this is one of the few spots where I think they will hold a dominating edge and can get this run line. I'm willing to do it here in this one. McLean may mow these guys down, and Quintana is certainly capable of having a decent game, despite these bad numbers right now. He might be able to extend himself a little bit here, and I'll go ahead and take the Mets, though. But maybe under's the way to go in the total. Let's see here. Okay. Hello to Richard Lockhart. Good to see Richard in the chat today. And let's see, Rockies Mets under first spot, 4.5 in the first 5 since Larry. Rockies money line though for Cal Dog. He's willing to take this dog that the Mets, here's the thing, right, about that losing streak. The Mets are probably not as bad as, losing 12 in a row or whatever it was. But you're always still going to get a good price with the other team, it feels like. I don't think I'm getting a great deal here with McLean necessarily. The Rockies have played well. All right, and the Cal Dog says this line is higher than a kite, higher than Snoop Dogg at the Olympic Village. All right, here we go. Richard says Mets first 5. Timmy's got an over here. Do you think Snoop and Martha smoke some? Okay. Timmy here says Rockies go home for the Cubs on Monday, and that's something to look forward to, I think is what you're saying, Timmy, right? Sure, the Mets are a good team, but okay, I'll just take the run line here. Here we go. Next up. Twins on the road. Simeon Woods Richardson goes for the Twins. 5.96 ERA for Woods Richardson. 0-3 record. He's been better, that's for sure. You got to wonder what's going on with Woods Richardson right now. For the Tampa Bay Rays here, Jesse Scholten's 2.95 ERA so far. Just a few starts, but a .98 whip. Might be onto something here with Scholten's $1.35 here against this Twins team that is reeling. Tampa Bay's won 3 in a row coming in here. They've won the first 2 games of this series, 6-2 and 6-1. I mean, they barely dominated. You know what the score of their game was before that? When they beat the Reds, 6-1. They've outscored their last 3 games, 18-4. I imagine they'll score 6 runs in this game. Scholten's here. Let's see, maybe up to $1.40, $1.45 at some books here right now. But man, it does seem like Woods Richardson, the Twins, are reeling here all of a sudden. Any good times are almost long gone here. The Twins are 12-15. The Rays are 15-11. Minnesota's lost 8 of 9. Tampa's won 6 of their last 8 at home. And the Rays offense, what can you say? They probably can get to Woods Richardson right now. The Twins games are trending heavily to the over, and it's not because of their hitting necessarily. Tampa should contribute enough offense as well. They're 9-5 to the over as a favorite here. So maybe we could just take over in all the American League games today, but Scholten's also may do a number on them. I'm going to go ahead and take this modest favorite here, if you don't mind. I'll take a little $1.35. I'll call it $1.45 because, in fact, that one square offshore book, it's $1.47. That's the highest price that I've seen right now. But I'm going to take the Rays here. This Rays team, I don't think there's any fluke or problem with them. It seems like we got the same-o with Tampa Bay, and that's a good thing. Cal Dog is on the Rays here, and Larry says Rays money line. Richard says Tampa Bay team total over, huh? And Timmy says best time to win money is a shot on the Twins. Take the Twins here. All right. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves. Tigers and Reds here. Man, it's been kind of a lost weekend here for the Tigers all of a sudden, losing these first 2 games, especially how they lost that first one after the rain delay there. And then the way the game went down here, blowout fashion on Saturday as the Reds pummeled them 9-2 to win again. The Reds have been hot. How hot? They were beating Tampa Bay their last series a little bit. So right now you got Brett Lauder in here for the Reds, 3.10 ERA, and he's got a 3-1 record so far for Lauder. Keter Montero, 3.68 ERA and a 1-2 record. Montero should be good, but man, the Reds are playing well, and they're playing hot here right now, and they're just a slight favorite in this one over the Tigers here today. For the Cincinnati Reds here in this one. They're basically, I think, are they the most profitable team in baseball right now? They're up nearly 10 units now with this uh, 18-9 record. They are the favorite here. 4-2 is a favorite right now. Detroit continues to struggle on the road. 4-12. It's hard to get behind this team when they're basically losing. Not only 4-12, but 2-12 in the last 14 on the road. Reds have the explosive offense with Sal Stewart. Man, this guy's going off. Both teams are kind of over teams right now. Detroit's gone over in 7 of their last 10. Cincinnati's 9-5 to the over in the small park here. So the total's pretty high there at 9. I mean, that's certainly what we were expecting, I think, in this game. But I think you're getting a deal here again on Cincinnati. I think we've all been pretty excited and pretty pumped for what the Reds are doing. I don't know how long they can keep this up or what their future prospects hold right now as far as how good they could be this season. I mean, if you really, who was talking about them yesterday in the chat? Because they're 40-1 to win the World Series right now. And, the division, though, of course, the NL Central, you got the Cubs, but right now the odds say, because Pittsburgh's doing well too, it's Cubs, Reds, Brewers, Pirates. But in some books, Reds are about 7-2 right now, and the Brewers are plus 375, and the Pirates are plus 440 or so. So interesting in the Central there, but let's see what we got right now. We've got Larry on the Reds. We've got, hey, Sound Man is here. BK, good to see you. He's on the Reds. Plus Money's here. Plus Money says take the Red. Look at all the Reds. Hey, I'll just go with the chat. I mean, I want the Reds. Give me the Reds. I'll do it. I want to win too. Everybody's on the Reds. I'm on the Reds with you. Let's go. Hey, Real Deal Prime is in the chat. Oh, man, Real Deal Prime. It's so good to see Real Deal Prime in the chat. Let me see what that emojis are there. It's a scroll and a pen. I don't know what it means, but I love seeing Real Deal Prime here, man. What an honor. Okay, Timmy says, oh, take Detroit. Someone's got to take Detroit. Mr. Westwood is not worried about the Reds long term. But I don't know, the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs are going to be that dominant here. These other teams, Detroit can't lose 3, says Timmy Chushu. I will take the Reds. Come on, let's go for the sweep. Next up, Pirates and Brewers here going in this one, and Milwaukee here with Milwaukee going to be about $1.30 favorite. Remember when they used to dominate the Pirates? Well, the Pirates have won the first 2 in this series, and you've got Carmen Majinski going here, 3.28 ERA, 1-1 record. Kyle Harrison, it looks like he's a good pickup here for Milwaukee, 3.05 ERA and a 1-1 record. Well, this one's modestly priced here at $1.25. A lot of respect for Pittsburgh turning the tables here a little bit on Milwaukee. Milwaukee's lost 4 straight, not just the last 2 here to Pittsburgh in this series so far because of yesterday's game. It was 6-3. It was close throughout, but Pittsburgh got 3 runs in the top of the 10th inning to grab the win there and get the road win there over Milwaukee. We know Pittsburgh's been pretty awesome so far. They're 16-11. We just talked about the odds in the Central, and they're kind of just nuzzling up there against Milwaukee right now, who's only 13-13 so far. These 2 teams are a combined 30-23 to the over here. Milwaukee's 9-4 to the over as a favorite here at 7.5. Good starting pitching here with Majinski's been pretty solid. Harrison can be solid. We know Milwaukee got him here for a reason here to have a left-handed starter in there. So Milwaukee, they lost 5 of 6 coming in. Pittsburgh's been competitive and strong on the road, 7 of their last 10. So Brewers offense has been inconsistent right now. And like I said, even though these teams are going over, it does feel like we could get good enough starting pitching here. Can Pittsburgh do this and sweep this after we know the Milwaukee Brewers have owned Pittsburgh here for the last 2+ seasons. I mean, for a while there, they were winning every game against them, not even close. Right? It's still 8-2 Milwaukee in the last 10 games between the two teams, and 5-2 here in Pittsburgh. But man, I like Majinski here, and I'm going to take the Bucks plus $1.05. Give me Pittsburgh here on the road. I'm going to go for the sweep with Pittsburgh here today. Milwaukee definitely needs a win, but let's see what we got. Plus money's on the Pirates, and Mr. Weskers is on some kind of animal in there. It could be a tiger. I think it might be a tiger. Yes, it is a tiger, right? We were just talking about the Tigers. Okay, Jimmy's on the Brewers here, and Larry says he's got a Nerfy. Cal Dog's on the over. And Mr. Webster says the Pirates going to nestle up to a loss. Get a little Nestle. All right. I'm going to take the Pirates in this one. Well, the Yankees are taking on the Astros. Man, I mean, how can you not? Is it too easy here to just take the Yankees again? At least Arrighetti's going for Houston. Maybe they'll give him some shot, because if one pitcher so far, Arrighetti's looked good. 2.45 ERA, 2-0 record so far since coming back for Spencer Arrighetti. We already know he looked good last year. Maybe he hit the wall a little bit. But looks like he's an established major league pitcher, I would think, at this point, even though he's still, young in his career. He was pretty solid last year. And look, he's coming and looked real good here after, missing the start of the season. No problem. For Luis Gil here, a 4.1 ERA, 1-1 record in this one. I don't know if Houston's ready to turn it around here right now, but we could see a decent matchup here with these two, I think. With Arrighetti pitching. And yeah, the Yankees kind of blasted these guys over the last 2 days, 20-7 here right now. But Houston is 7-8 at home. Yankees out an 18-9 overall, 10-4 on the road. Houston's been a big time over team at home, but only because they've given up so many runs. The Yankees are still 5-8 to the under on the road, 10-13 to the under as a favorite. I think Arrighetti probably a better option than what we've seen from the disastrous Houston pitching so far. And yeah, they'll still have to get into the bullpen here, but Arrighetti's obviously been very, very solid enough. The total's 9.5 because the Yankees have been blasting, but I'm going to think that Arrighetti does have a decent start and holds them long enough here. I will go under in this game at 9.5 here. And look, will the Yankees score enough? I mean, the Astros score enough runs against Eel. Eel's numbers aren't great. We know that, but Astros have lost 6 in a row at home. I know it's easy to look at it. And look, I was calling the Yankees there in yesterday's game too. Here we just saw here just moments ago, Wiesberger wins the China Open by 3 strokes. This is just moments ago here. All right. Houston's bullpen's still the worst in baseball, 6.19 ERA and a 1.69 whip. So I need a quality start from Arrighetti, but I think we get it. And I'm going to go over. Houston's gone over in 7 of their last 8. The bullpen collapse risk is pretty high, but as long as Arrighetti gets them through here, I'm going to take the under in this one. Here we go with Yankees are going to mail this one in here. It says Timmy, last Sunday game here. Yankees on the run line though for Larry. Richard says Yankees team total over, game over. Give him a Yerfie. Cal Dog says Yankees on the run line again. And Mr. Wesker says he doesn't know how many innings Yale is going to go here in this one. Richard's got the Yankees on the extendo run line there, -2.5. Plus money likes the under here. And Cal Dog says that Gill goes about 4 innings right now. He has 15 innings, 15 and a third innings pitched here so far. The one thing about Eel, yes, he has a 4.11 ERA, but a 1.17 WHIP, I think, shows that due for some positive regression. Did I get it right? I always get my positive regression wrong. Okay. I'm going to take the under in that one. All right, the Nationals are on the White Sox. Get your tickets now for this White Sox team. Uh, White Sox come in here 11-16, and Washington's 12-16. Washington got the win yesterday, but good, interesting pitching matchup here with Foster Griffin, who's been solid. 3.38 ERA and 22 strikeouts, 1.2 WHIP for Washington. For Brian Hudson here, good ERA, high WHIP. He usually loads the bases here early on, has to get pulled. This is a kind of an opener here for the White Sox right now. It looks like just basically a bullpen game in general for the White Sox here today. So just going to have to deal with it here for Chicago. I think of what we're expecting from this club here today. They're just going to have to piece this one together. You're going to see Hudson in here today. You're also going to see Beto. You're going to see a lot of Beto, I think, in there. Probably going to see some Tyler Davis as well. And then maybe Sean Newcomb if they get into if they're going to be close here. This should be a close game, obviously, with these two subpar teams here in this one. But a couple left-handers starting here, so we could see this one be a pretty effective game early for Griffin and Hudson here. It's just a matter of will it go off here, late between the two teams. These two teams are heavy over teams, 36-18 to the over. Overall here, the White Sox are favored again for the third straight time. Washington is 18-8 to the over. They're 19-8 to the over here, 9-6 to the over on the road here in this one. So see what you guys think here. Not a great game, I know, but Chicago's in a little bit better form. They've won 4 of 6. Washington's bullpen, 5.39 ERA, certainly a liability. Both teams have high scores with these weak bullpens. I just expect a little bit better start from these two starters here right now. Still, it was 6-3 yesterday. Washington got the win. It went over. The previous game was 5-4, and it went under despite that 9 total. So what did they settle on here today for a total? 8/20. So I think it just points to the over for me even with these two pitchers. Let me see if I can go to the side here. I don't know if I want to do that. It's actually 8.5 under at some spots. Did anybody want to comment on this game at all? Let's see here. And Mr. Westers likes the Sox here, maybe in this one. Larry says White Sox, he's got a Nerfy here. And Mr. Westers, I think, has the wild card. Sox to get the wild card. Richard likes the Sox in the first 5. He also likes the Nats team total over in the first 5. And let's see what Plus Money says. He likes the over as well. I want to say hello to Yan Lim in the chat. Really good to have Yan Lim in there. He's talking about that total between the Cavaliers and the Raptors. Thank you, Yan. Good to see you. Man, nice to have Yan Lim in the chat. I do like the total in that game, Yan, but I think I got a premium on it, so I didn't comment on it. But I appreciate having you here. Nats for here for Cal Dog, and that might be it from you guys in the chat in this one with the with Washington and Chicago here right now. All right. Well, I guess I got to make my call here in this one. I already hinted at the over because the bullpens would probably go off, so give me the over in this one. I do like the young starters here, but eventually they're going to have to get in there, and it might end up being just 4-4, nothing you can do, and it'll go over. Mariners at the Cardinals here with Emerson Hancock, 2.82 ERA and a 2-1 record. And Mike McGreevy here for McGreevy. He comes in here with a 3.29 ERA and a 1-2 record. So it seems like a decent pitching matchup here. Mariners have won 3 straight, including the first 2 games of this series here, 3-2 and 11-9. Usually you don't see that with some of these Seattle games and these St. Louis games. These are kind of 2 teams that you definitely think a little bit under. Yeah, St. Louis has had some overs here, but Seattle's 3-8 to the under on the road right now. They are favored in this game, $1.40, $1.45 right now against McGreevy. Looks like Seattle has found someone they can beat, though, here this weekend in St. Louis. So not sure I want to necessarily take a shot with a home dog here. Seattle may be finding a little bit of form here right now. Seattle's dominated this matchup. They've won 6 straight overall. Cardinals are starting to trend downward a little bit. I'm not giving up on them. They're 14-12, but Seattle all of a sudden worked their way back up to 13-15. Yes, their road offense can be inconsistent here, and I think that's why we've seen them get involved in so many low-scoring games here right now. But this feels like the matchup for Seattle here. Yes, it's $1.45. I think I'm going to actually just lay this price here a little bit on the show. I'm going to lay a little chalk here with a road favorite. Seattle's doing a really good job. I think they can close it out and win the series here, sweep the series on the road. Okay. Mariners are frauds, says Mr. Weskers. Well, maybe, but they found someone they can beat here in the first 2 games pretty handily. Cardinals money line for Mr. Weskers. They've lost 6 straight to Seattle overall. Here's Hancock over on his case, says Richard. And Mr. Wester says some of these teams are just not for real. Larry's on the Mariners here, plus money's on the Mariners. Cal Dog is on the over. And the Timmy says Cards can't even stay here with plus 1.5. Dang, Cardinals can't keep up. I think Mr. Westers is on the Cards though, Timmy. Maybe I'm misreading that chat there. Yeah, Seattle, 28th in batting average. They have to fix that. Okay, here we go. Next up, I'm taking there the Mariners. Marlins and Giants here with Max Meyer going here for the Marlins and Landon Roop here for the Giants. Roop, 2.27 ERA, 4-1 record. They found something here with Roop so far. Yes, they're favored. They finally won the game yesterday after losing the first one here to Miami. The Giants were able to win it 6-2 after losing the opener 9-4. Miami's struggling on the road, really. 3-8 overall on the road. 2-8 as an underdog here. So Roops look good. Price is good too here, it feels like, with this one. Giants are 7-2 to the over as a favorite. Miami's 7-1 to the over as an underdog here. So, yeah, good pitching. We got some good Sunday pitchers in here, although Meyer, 3.96 ERA in this one. So I'm going to take the over here in this one. I think the Giants are in a pretty good spot, though, right now to get one here. You got to figure the Giants are going to start to pick up some wins here sometime, right? They are 12-15 here right now. Miami 13-14, but having those struggles on the road. So I think that what will happen is the Giants will be able to get to Meyer eventually, and the total of 7.5 is not impressing me at all. I think the Giants can get upwards of 4 and 5 runs here and win this one. Let's see what the chat's doing on this one. It's going to be, and hello to Anthony Robertson there. He needs 40 games in. I'm just listening. I need 40 games in. Anthony, I don't know what that means, but I'm glad you're here. Mr. Wesker says people think the Mariners are good. Well, here's the thing I think about that, Mr. Weskers, is they were a playoff team last year. They have a really strong offense. They had a record-setting catcher who hit 60 home runs. So, we just haven't. They've never won anything, right? So, Timmy is on the under here in this one. Mr. Westwood says not taking the Giants as a favorite, that's for sure. Cal Dog on the over. Richard likes the Marlins. Team total under. Larry says Giants first 5 money line. And Anthony says he wants to see 40 games. Oh, yeah. We were almost. Oh, I don't think we have 40. We have 24 only. 24. Oh, he wants to see 40. Oh, he wants to see the first quarter of the season. I got it. Thank you, Mr. Westers. I got you, Anthony. Okay. All right, next up, we're going to Mexico again here with the Diamondbacks and the Padres. Well, hey, it didn't go over yesterday as much as I tried to talk it up, but that it would. Will it today? Previous trips into Mexico City, they did have one under and one over in each of the previous 2 times that they've been to Mexico City. That talking about Major League Baseball here. Michael King, 2.27 ERA. I've already talked about how much I like King before the season, last season, since he's been with the Padres. Not a lot of people are believers in King, but it's hard to argue. These numbers keep staying solid with him right now. 3-1 record also coming in. Padres here taking care of the Diamondbacks yesterday, 6-4 here in the elevation. Padres are 18-8 right now, 11-3 as a favorite. Arizona 14-2. 14-12 coming in, 7-8 as an underdog here so far. Padres, modest favorite here right now, $1.30 in this one. I think that's pretty good price. $1.20 here in this one. I like the Padres here. I gotta think the Padres can do it, especially if it gets in. A few home runs did go out there yesterday in Mexico City, but Padres are hot, man. They've won 13 of their last 15. They've beaten Arizona in 6 straight games. You almost want to favor the under a little bit with King out there. I'm not so sure what I'm going to do with the total after being so disappointed like everybody else that we couldn't get all those runs and I had a loss. So I'm just going to take the Padres here. They're money right now. Even I know that. Let's see what we got here with you guys. And it's going to be D-backs for plus money. The D-backs wore their Serpientes uniforms there yesterday. I wonder if the Padres will wear the cool, as I've talked about, the Dia de los Muertes. You better wear that in Mexico. I mean, come on, maybe it's disrespectful. I don't know. If it is, then maybe you shouldn't have them. But the Padres better wear their alternate jerseys tomorrow. That's for sure. Mr. Western says they're the hottest team in baseball. Take them on the run line. And Timmy says the Diamondbacks will get one of the 2 games. And Mr. Western says Padres are just over. They're not over, though. The Padres are one of the biggest. They're 10-15 to the under in 8 of their last 10, mostly because the pitching is going. The pitching is strong, too. Anthony says the Padres look great. Yeah, Anthony, I don't know if you've watched me before or we've met, but I'm a Padres fan, believe it or not. And I know there's not many of us on these shows, but Timmy's going to go against King here. And Timmy says Nelson is sus now. Look, I don't mind Ryan Nelson, but right now he's got a 7 ERA and a 1.45 WHIP. You got to wonder if Nelson's all there right now. Larry will go with the under here in this one. Mr. Westers wouldn't play in Mexico City if you paid him. Take the Padres to just go take him to win again and again. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'll do it. Richard says Padres money line. They just have a better pitching staff right now. Yeah, The Padres, one thing they have that I'm really, they have, I think, the best, pitching coach in the game there. So I think that just makes the whole staff that much more solid. Ruben Niebla, the former Cleveland Indians, Guardians, he was there for such a long time. He was there when it was the Indians. He came to the Padres a few years ago, and it's he's a difference maker. He's one of the few pitching coaches that really make it. Whatever team would be on, their pitching staff would be immediately improved. Yep, yeah, they're looking good. I'm happy with the Padres certainly here right now. Okay. Cubs and Dodgers here in this one. The Dodgers finally got over on the Cubs there yesterday. They put it down 12-4. Favorite here in this one with Robleski going up against Imanaga here. Robleski 1.87 ERA, 3-0 record. Shoto Imanaga 2.17 ERA, 2-1 record. Good starting pitching matchup here. Two left-handers on a Sunday. Cubs coming here 17-10 right now. Dodgers 18-9. Dodgers finally got the win there yesterday to snap that Cubs winning streak. No problem. Cubs are doing great and fine right now, but you are playing the champs, and not that the Dodgers are off to any poor start or anything. They've been great, but the Cubs have been one of the hottest teams in baseball. They've actually had success against LA, 5-1 in the last six. They lost yesterday's game. So you might think there's some value on the dog here, but I think if I can get the Dodgers at $1.30, I almost do it every time. Doesn't matter who they're playing, even if it is the hottest team in baseball, the Cubs. So might see, look, the team trends over here to the Cubs 8-2 to the over as an underdog, but I think we're going to have some good pitching here with Imanaga and Robleski. Give me the Dodgers in this one at $1.30 or so. I'll take LA here on Sunday. We've got here a cow dog on the over here. And Mr. Weskers always fades Imanaga even on a Sunday. Do my Connie Francis imitation. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're just going to touch on this one briefly. No pick. No pick from me in this one. Just, inconclusive information here right now. I do promise everyone a pick on pretty much every game. But gonna wait and see. Just want to fit this one in. This is about the time slot it's going to be in right here, the next to last game. And let me see if I can't figure out what's going on with you're just not going to know, because if the Rockies can't name a starter here, it's going to end up as a bullpen game. So maybe, and then you don't know which guys are going to end up being in there here. Every team gets an extra pitcher when you go to play a doubleheader. So a lot of times you pick up a minor league guy to do it. But we know Quintana's starting in the first one, and right now Colorado's kind of already on a bullpen game every fifth starter, anyways. So you're going to see Sammy Peralta, Seth Halverson. Also, I would expect could be in there as well. I would imagine Tanner Gordon. I didn't even look and see what happened today here with what happened at the pitching today. So a little bit disingenuous of me to go ahead and just assume. Okay, I don't want to waste your time here. I was just going to kind of look at the full box score here from Saturday's game and see who was in there. Oh, it was the rain. It was the rain out, of course. I don't mean. I got to go back to Friday's game there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's solved. So yeah, Sammy Peralta, Seth Halverson. These two guys are going to be in the game there somewhere for sure. I'd imagine Tanner Gordon, of course. Just depends. Gordon could end up actually being the could be the starter in this game or could be the bulk pitcher after someone opens up for him, possibly. Maybe a guy like Bernardino, who we've seen, I think, open up with the lefty and then bring in a guy like Tanner Gordon. Could it be Bernardino starting and then Gordon coming in maybe after that? So just don't know. If you guys want to pick on it, go ahead. I'm not going to pick this one, but you can probably get it somewhere here. Okay, let's see what the anything. Yeah, like I said, comment if you want here. Shaq, who is the man telling us about sweep avoidance in the chat? Shaq. Richard says Dodgers money line and under in that other game. Dodgers money line. He says Larry says the Cubs got beat up yesterday, but they'll start another 10-game winning streak. Or no, he says, but 10. That was good to get a 10-game winning streak. At least you're going to be, working from ahead here. Okay, Richard says take the loser in the first game and the second game. A very sound doubleheader strategy for hundreds of years, 150 years probably of a strategy there. Could you believe it? The National League is 149 years old, but 149 years old, the National League. Let's see here. Miss Roy, I think Soto, right? I think Soto's in this game, right? He's back. It's Lindor now that has the sore calf. And Anthony says Max Muncy's his, but which one, Anthony? There's two Max Muncy. Well, I know which one you mean. I'm kidding. There are two Max Muncy's, though. Lakers here. Real Kev says he's got 27 cents on Robinhood for $293 of profit. What is that, though, for Real Kev? Is it in the series? Probably that doesn't even make sense either. What is that from? Okay. Real Kev says over 8.5 for the Dodger game. He's going to wait on that price. All right, let me get to the last game here now. Sunday Night Baseball. Boom, ba-da-bum, ba-da. Okay, Angels. Oh, whoa. Where's the price? We don't have the line in the Kansas City game. Kansas City, that's because I screwed it up with the Rockies there. 120, and the total here, 8.5 with Seth Lugo on the mound. Man, Seth Lugo's been impressive. Kyle Detmers is usually somewhat solid here, but man, Seth Lugo's off to a great start. He fades a little bit eventually, but 1.49 ERA right now, going up against Detmers here, 4.08 ERA. And 1-2 record coming in. Kansas City has been an over team so far at home, 9-6 to the over, but 12-15 to the under overall. You got to think that Lugo here is going to come in and have a pretty fresh start. The way he's going, and really looking impressive here so far. The game did go over in each of the first two games because Kansas City ended up pounding Angel pitching in the end. Could it happen again here today? Just kind of wondering, though, because Lugo may be able to deal, and then you're stuck with one team scoring all the runs. Will Kansas City score enough despite the two outstanding performances here of the offense? The Angels are in poor form, having lost 6 of their last 7 games, and Reed Detmers does show, like I said, he can be durable. He can give you something there a little bit. So Kansas City did erupt for some pretty big runs here, and it's 8.5. So I think it'll probably end up being somewhat close there. And give me the under in this one with the Angels and the Royals. It's close, man. Give me the under here in this one. That's it for night moves. Anybody got anything on that final game here? Okay. Lakers 1-2 get. Are you parlaying it up real for Kev? Are you parlaying the Lakers over and over? Is that it? Shaq says crazy how the Lakers are 7. Is that what you mean? Same thing there. Shaq says 70-1 to beat the Rockets. Is that it? Shaq's on the Halos. Mr. Wesker's on the Angels too. Hey, Oscar, he says Yankee game's over. Can't watch the live for long. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry you missed that. I went under in that game, Oscar. Hey, Rusty168's on the Braves. Hi, Rusty. Nice to have you. Cal Dog, Angels 0-1. Tim's on the Angels. Larry says Angels Royals under Nerfy for Larry. Thanks, Timmy, for everything. And let's see, Mr. Westwood says, here, well, we can put that on the screen. Okay. Richard says the Texas game to go under there. Is that one? Oh, thank you, Richard. I'm sorry about that. Yes, I did miss the game. I think I deleted. Oh man, what a terrible host I am. I mean, come on. We can't be leaving the game off. We don't do that around here. I am sorry. I don't know what got into me. Let me do that for you. You already made your pick, so let me show it again, and then good thing you're in here to tell me that. I mean, I can't embarrass myself here and not have the last game there. Let me show it. Oops. Okay. There we go. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Richard. He says, what did he say? Under 8 in that game. Texas unders at home. You better believe it, Richard. You know what? We probably don't even need to mess with it there. You got that hook on there already. Yeah, you got to wonder here a little bit with Camille Rocker. It hasn't been great so far. 3.48 ERA, not bad. 1-1 record. No, JT Ginn, we've been okay with him too. 3.73 ERA. Look, I feel bad. Richard came in here, said, Ramon, you forgot the game. I'm just going to go with Richard because I've been rolling with Texas unders here all season long. I can't believe we were able to hang on to that one yesterday after it kind of was a high score early in the game, wasn't it? So I'll do it. You woke me up, said, don't forget about this one. I don't know why here I don't have that one marked down. And I'm going with the under because Richard said go with the under. Oscar says, what's your favorite over? You usually go under. Yeah, Oscar, look, it didn't take Oscar too long to figure out that I'm an under guy, right? Oscar, I'll tell you what, I've got the over in Miami and San Francisco. I've got the over in Boston and Baltimore, and I have the over in Cleveland and Toronto, and I have the over in Washington and White Sox. How about that? 4 overs on the show. That's good for me. Timmy's on Texas there with this one. Let me at least cover the game here. Just don't pick the under. Pick the under, even though Texas is 2-8 to the under at home. Athletics 5-11 to the under on the road here. Again, 3.73 ERA, 106 WHIP for Rocker, 3.48 ERA, 1.3 WHIP coming into this one here. So look, like you said here, I think when you're looking right now at the A's, they continue to be profitable as a dog. They're up 4 units. They're strong on the road, 8-2 in the last 10. We talked about it yesterday, but I was actually on the A's here on Night Moves yesterday, and the Rangers actually got the win there in the end, 4-3, after the A's won the first game here. So I think the value side against Texas is not dominant here, but A's games are trending over here. But at Texas, we know it's always a solid under. So I just took the under. That's all. Thank you to everyone here watching. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Plus Money was on the A's. Cal Dog's on the A's. Mr. Wesker's on the A's. Wow. Everybody's loving these A's here. Under less work. You just say, hey, I'll go under. Why not? Darnell Green likes the over in this one, though. And Timmy says he doesn't trust Ginn, but since he's backing Rocker, he'll be holding his bag. All right. Thanks, everybody. Great job. We were here for 2 hours tonight on Night Moves, and we'll do it again here tomorrow on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Make sure you join Tony and his panel for the Tony's Picks Morning Show tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific to get things rolling with your betting day. So make sure you join Tony and the crew. Don't forget, check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. I'll have a baseball card for sure. I'm rolling pretty good, and I'll have another winning prop package as well. Check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. That's going to do it. Thank you again, everyone in the chat. Really appreciate it. And for the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las Vegas.